truth, yeah, ruthless truth. Get down, it could go bad for you. Hit like, comment, subscribe, you know what to do. Be cool, city lights shining so bright. Fine dining nights feels right. Flights to places far from sight. Get right, ruthless truth, yeah, ruthless truth. Get down, it could go bad for you. In the city where we move, stay cool. Underneath the neon glow, life is fast but take it slow. Every moment like a show. Let's go. Dancing through the night, we got energy flows we can't hide. Feel alive, we outside. Moments fleeting but we shine. In this rhythm we align. Time flies. Moments fleeting but we shine. In this rhythm we align. Time flies. Ruthless fleeting but we shine. In this rhythm we align. Time flies. Truth, yeah, ruthless truth. Get down, it could bad for you. In the city where we move, stay cool. Stay cool.
Hey, nobody bigger than the program.
What's up, YouTube? Top of the morning. So today's topic is a little out of the ordinary, right? Probably never heard of this type of topic, but it's something of a question that's come up in my mind, and I just wanted to have the conversation. Let's have the conversation about it, right? Does she want to be a wife or does she want to be a goddess? And what makes me ask this question is it seems to be that women, when they get into these relationships or marriages, they want the man to bow down to them for the relationship to continue, right? For it to go any extended healthy, in their mind, I would say any extended time to make it last. The ultimate goal or the only solution to have a long-term relationship is you have to bow down to her or acquiesce to her demands or whatever it is that she presents, right? And I believe because of that information, I would say from the time she first see you, that has to be her agenda, right? Has to be in her agenda. Because it just doesn't, I just don't think it goes from her wanting to serve you and be there for you and to, be your servant. And then from a servant to want you to serve her, I don't think it goes from one extreme to another extreme. I think it goes from the beginning. I think it's consistent. She's looking to submit you, right? And then ultimately worship her. That's where I think the process goes. Because if it was the other way around, then the guy wouldn't have to show up with money. If it was about the man, he would have to show up and pay for everything. He would have to, do all these things, right? Meet all these expectations if it was the woman looking to serve the man, right? If it was that way, then he can show up and then she'll do it. She'll pay for it. She'll take care of everything because then she's looking to serve him. But we know, in truth, and all truth be told, the women, when they go on dates with men, they expect that man to pretty much serve them, pay for everything, cater to them, acquiesce to their demands and expectations. And this man is on a job interview that he's paying for. He's paying her for the interview. But that is just her looking at him as, okay, he has to pass the test of submission. Is he submitting to paying these dinner dates? Is he submitting to me in a way where I feel like, he would never hold me accountable? This is the process. Is he financially able to deal with my shopping habits? These are the questions the women ask. This is why their demands are very high. And even if you meet all those demands, expectations, she can turn it around, and she'll still turn around and say, okay, more, right? I need you to do more. So we're going to get into this video where Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is going to break down this egotistical, psychopathic behavior which women are exhibiting. And she's going to expose the truth of women. And see, and the thing about all you got to do is pay attention. Pay attention. And she's going to give you all the information. And us men, we got to come out of our illusion. All these women don't know what they're talking about. They change the rules for the guys they like. That's my boy Poppy Block will tell me. They change the rules for the man they really want. No, they don't. No, they don't. What they do for the man they really want, who's hard to obtain, they put a lot of stuff that they would normally demand up front, they get it on the back end. They figure, I get it on the back end. Right? They'll pretend a little bit more for the guy they want because they see that he has a lot of options, he has a lot of success, but what they really want from him, they have to be a little bit more craftier, right? They have to be a little more subtle, and they'll play the long game to ultimately get what they want. This is why these relationships don't work either. So we're going to play the video. Welcome to the show. Hit the like button. We're going to start off the video, and we're going to see Cheyenne Bryant kind of expose the sisterhood.
Because she's caught a lot of criticism online, and I want to hear your expertise on what she's trying to say. Ayesha Curry, because when she says that, man, I didn't really see myself as a wife. I was like, in this career, I'm going to be this entrepreneur. I'm going to be this. I don't think she's saying she don't want to be married. She's upset that she married Steph Curry and has this beautiful family. But what can you deduce from what she's trying to say?
What I heard, which is exactly what you said, nothing more or less. I just heard her. I heard her being a woman with a voice, and it's kind of when you said, how come women can have preference but men can't, right? From your experience in the world. And I can see that. I don't believe that to be true for me, but I can see that perspective societally with the constructs. When a woman speaks out against the societal norms of a woman being domesticated or being a wife or being a mama, then she sounds ungrateful for having this wonderful husband who's providing and taking care of her, because that is most women's dream. Right? But there are other women like myself, right? And probably her too, from what she said, that their dreams are not limited to a position of a wife or a mother and to just being this person's wife.
Right. They want to be more than the wife. They want to be more than your wife. They want to be your God. They want you to serve them.
And where I do understand her is that I told God early on in my years, I said, God, I would love to marry a man of affluence and a man who does well, but I don't want to be known as, let's just say, Shannon's wife.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be known as like, this is Shannon Sharp, and
And this is Dr.
Bryant hyphenated Sharp.
Oh, you
Hyphenated Sharp. That means she's her own entity, equal or above. She just doesn't want to be known as your wife. She actually wants to probably be acknowledged before. She probably wants them to acknowledge her before they acknowledge you, right? And she wants to be looked at equal to you, to her husband.
will keep your last. Oh, so you will hyphenate the
I
last.
have to.
Okay.
I mean, I've already built this thing.
Okay. I was just checking.
And this is his wife. And people go, oh, I know exactly who
Yes.
you are. You're the one that produced, or you're the doctor
Yes. Yes.
next to you. Or
Right.
if I introduce myself, oh, that's Shannon. He's
Yeah.
the Hall of Famer. Like,
Yeah.
you did your thing. We
Right.
love your show.
Right.
Power couple.
Okay.
Right. And so I see her saying that she wanted to have what he had the luxury of having. He has a wonderful career
Mhm.
and he has a wonderful family.
Family.
She has a wonderful family. How come she gets deemed for saying, but I want to have the same equality as my husband?
Right.
All I'm saying is love being a mama and a
Right.
wife, because she's obviously doing a damn good job. at it,
Yes.
obviously.
Yes. Kids are great.
But how come I can't also
Why
want?
can't I have both? He has
Oh.
both. Why can't I? Why I got to be
And he
relegated
has
to?
both because she sat at home and allowed him
Right.
to build one,
Right.
and she built the other.
Allowed. She allowed him. What do you mean by that? Allowed? What you mean she allowed him to do what? Like, that's authority. She said she allowed him to build his career. What the fuck is that? Bitch, that's bitch, you crazy. Allowed? You didn't. And this is the mindset of women. I allowed you to do that, nigga. But I didn't mean for you to get more praise than me. I didn't mean for you to be more popular than me. Because why? She wants to be the one praised. She wants to be the one worshipped. She wants to be the one. She wants all the credit, even for the shit you did. The word allowed. That is, to me, condescending, right? She allowed women empowerment. What the fuck you mean? What the fuck you mean? You didn't allow me to do shit. But this is the mindset of women. This is the way they think. This is the way they look at things from a lens.
Mm-hmm.
That she is allowing him to also take credit for.
Right.
Because we know he's been on the road. Not that he ain't been a great father, 'cause I
Right.
love Steph Curry. But what she's saying is, I should be able to, now that my kids they're of age, the
Right.
kids look kind of grown to me,
Right.
go create what I want. And
Right.
she did.
What you mean allowing? See, these are the words you have to pay attention to. These are the words you have to look at. Those are very telling words. When somebody said, your woman says, I'm allowing you to go and do something, as if you need my permission to play my career, the career I built, me shooting that ball in the hoop, busting niggas' ass, all that. You mean tell me now, for us to get married, you need to allow me to do that? But this is women's egotistical, psychopathic behavior. They want to be, that's why she's coming out and saying the things she says. Because she's trying to grab the throne.
They tried. She started doing magazines
Yes,
in the
she
past
did.
and
Cook,
covers.
I think she got
cook
cookware.
stuff.
Yeah.
She tried.
Right.
And so I think there's nothing wrong with her saying, look, I have aspirations too,
Mhm.
and I'm not going to take away from what I've already been excelling at, but I'm also excellent at other things.
We had two young men,
Mm-hmm.
black men, Kyron Lacey and Marshawn Nealon. And we kind of briefly touched on it, not those guys specifically.
And she built the other
Mm-hmm.
that she is allowing him to also take credit for.
Right.
Because
Man, this bitch crazy. Allowing? See, this goes back to you got to watch these women, man. These women they're looking to take over, right? With this rhetoric. They're looking to take over with this rhetoric.
But can we acknowledge if a man got up here and said the exact same thing you just said, they would label him misogynist?
Of course they would, because like I said before, women don't listen to men. Women think that men were created to serve them. So if you ain't serving them, they don't want to hear nothing you got to say because
and that all aligns up. Allowing, created to serve, it all lines up. The happy wife, happy life, all that shit makes sense now. All of this makes sense now. Women won't marry you unless you bow down. You got to kiss the ring. This is why Ruthless is anti-marriage. There's no way. And men, we're delusional to think that these women aren't looking for that when they look at us. They think it's just our character. We think it's just our personality. And it might be a little bit right. But the character to what? To listen and to be submissive to her? And to worship the ground she walk on? That's the character she's looking for. This is why they don't like every man. This is why women are not attracted to 98% of men. Because they want to pick the perfect guy to worship her. She want her worship her to look fine. Or she want her worship her to have a big dick. Or she want her worship her to act, ultimately she wants that guy to be her bitch. Women want you to be their bitch. If you take that deal, if you take that long-term deal, a boyfriend title, boyfriend-girlfriend title, or wife-husband title, marriage, the woman wants you to be her bitch. Simple. She does not want to serve you. She wants you to serve her. She wants you to ultimately serve her. And I got two different women now. So I got Dr. Bryant, right? When she said allowing, we heard that. And then now we got Priscilla breaking it down more in detail. And Priscilla is going against the sister code. So we all understand this is why you don't marry women. This is why you don't marry them. And I'm even starting to be against relationships. Because what's the point of a relationship if the whole relationship is going to be built on her trying to get me to serve her? What is the point of this shit? If my mentality is, I love this woman, I want to build a future with this woman under my leadership. Right? But with all this information we got now, and we see why, because for a long time I didn't understand why. I thought it was only me. But the internet helped me see that it ain't just me. Why are all these women divorcing these men? Why are all these women breaking up with these men? Why are all these women complaining about the men? And this is what my conclusion is they're undermining the leadership of the man. They're undermining you. Right? But think about it. Play it back in your head. Play it back. Who pays for all the dates and dinners? Who pays for all the music parks? Who pays 98% of all the bills when it comes to doing things? Now, you might not be paying her, back in the day, you didn't pay for hair and nails and stuff like that. Now, in 2026, these women are demanding that now. Right? They're saying, hey, if you're going to go out with me, you don't just pay for the dinner dates, but you're going to be my man. You're going to pay for this, you're going to pay for that. But why are they acting like this? Because they're undermining your authority, nigga. They want to run the show. And by making you submit to those things, by making you go against your nature, by making you, accept her lies and her delusion, she's trying to run you. She wants to obviously be your goddess. She wants to be your god, nigga. So this is why Ruthless Truth is against now becoming, in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks or so, I'm speaking against relationships too. Because the reason why I'm speaking against relationships now, because women are looking to undermine a man's leadership. Because her intention in the beginning is to take over the relationship. She wants to lead. She wants you to follow her. And this is why the gender war exists. This is why there's a big disconnect between the men and the women. Because the men who are still want to hold their leadership positions, who still want to be the leader, women are deeming them as enemy combatants. That's why they call them misogynistic. Controlling. Right? They call them all them names. Their name called them because them type of men, right, want to do the same thing they want to do. So ultimately what it is women want the same thing we want. We want to be leaders. They want to be leaders. They know you want to lead, but what do? They say, okay, I'm use my femininity, my vagina, my whatever it is to make him flip him. Let's go back to Shia and Bryant. These women, they want to ultimately rule you. This is why there's so much conflict. Because you can't have two mountains on the same lion. You can't have two lions on the same mountain. That's what I'm talking about. You can't have two lions on the same mountain. At least two lead lions. You gotta have the one alpha lion, and if there is other lions, they got to battle. If not, there's going to be a war, fight to the death. And the women are challenging men for supremacy on the mountain, and the men who are bucking it. Hey, I'm a leader. How'd that do? They're going to either they're going to try to keep breaking you. They're going to work on trying to break you down. And if you do not submit or comply to her leadership, she's going to leave you. She's going to start the process of leaving you. Now, granted, they may hang out a little longer because you got good dick, whatever, or good, they might be addicted to your sex. But ultimately, they're going to leave you if you do not submit totally to their ideology of them being the leader. And let's look at the Cheyenne. Listen to what Cheyenne Bryant is saying, because this is just more and more information coming out each day.
And she built the other that she is allowing him to also take credit for.
Right.
Because we know he's been on the road. Not that he ain't been a great father, because I love Steph Curry. But what she's saying is I should be
allowing. Dr. Bryant, what you mean she's allowing? This is a form of slave master mentality, right? I'm allowing my slave to go out and work as much as he wants this goes back to the Tom Brady Gazelle, right? She was allowing Tom Brady to play football a little longer, but then once she said, I no longer allow you to play anymore, and Tom went against that, I'm the leader, right? And I want to play this many more. She sent him the divorce papers and went and took a lesser man who worshiped the ground she walked on. Now, this answers the question. She was, in her mind, women. So let's break this down. So in these women's mind, they're allowing you to do your career. But the moment they want you to do more for them than you are in your career, you need to make that happen or they will leave you. And this goes back to a story of a guy met at a sports bar, right? This white guy, he's pretty cool. So he tells me when he met his wife, he had a job making $80,000 a year. Which is pretty much a high earner, right? And he got with her, and then he asked her to marry her. She said the only way they get married, because he said his job, that $80,000 a year job, he worked a lot. He worked a lot of hours. She said, there's no way I gonna marry you if you're working that many hours. And this nigga quit his job, and because she worked at the sports bar already. It's like a little sports bar. He quit his job and went to join her at that workplace. So he took a huge pay cut to be there to serve her. And the other women, when I go, because I go there often, I've been a little bit, but I go there often. The other women tell me, or tell the other, yeah, we know who run that relationship. Yeah. So this is so true. So now I understand why she's talking the way she's talking.
I can also
Why
want,
can't I have both? He has
Oh.
both. Why can't I? Why I got to be
and
relegated
he has
to
both because she sat at home and allowed him
Right.
to build one.
Right.
And she built the other
Mhm.
that she is allowing him to also take credit for.
Right.
Because we know he's been on the road. Not that he ain't been a great father, because I
Right.
love Steph Curry.
See that? Allowing. Listen to that word. Listen to wordplay. Listen to that wordplay. And this is the truth. Now let's listen to the Queen Maker one more time. Just one more time.
And got up here and said the exact same thing you just said, they would label him misogynistic.
Of course they would, because like I said before, women don't listen to men. Women think that men were created to serve them. So if you ain't serving them, they don't want to hear nothing you got to say, because at the end of the day, women think that this is we need to teach males to do this. Women want men to be women. Women want society to transform a male into a female.
And this falls in line with the allowing. And this is where, the ideology of why is my wife always arguing with me? Why is she always fighting? Why are we fighting over the dumbest shit in the world? Because she's pushing for supremacy. She's pushing to be at the top of the chain. And as long as she got the strongest nigga in the world bowing to her, she feels invincible. She wants to buck break you. That's why they chase the rappers, the athletes, because they want to get the strongest. It's just like it goes right back to slavery, right? The slave masters went all the way to Africa to get the strongest slaves because the others, the Indians, were too weak. The Latinos, the Mexicans, they were too weak. So somebody told them, hey, I know you can get the strong. We need strong slaves to build this nation, to do this work. And they took boats and went days and days of traveling to get the strongest humans on the face of the earth. And they brought them over because they were strong. They were the strongest. They were stronger than them. So the women are the same way. They're looking to butt break the strongest men. That's why they don't want the guy, the ready-made guy. All of them, a lot of women, depending on the level of their beauty, they don't want the guy right there. They don't chase the lawyers, the doctors, right? Because they're easy. A lot of guys are ready-made. They come ready in the package. A lot of these women want to butt break them a strong nigga, a strong Negro, a strong man, so they can break him down and make him serve them and take all his resources, take his kids. This is the way the women see it. It's clear and concise. And I always wonder, when I see the quiet couples, why the women look so mean, right? I'm like, why does she look so mean? Why does she don't look happy? Because that nigga must have did something, he might have did something offbeat. So the curse of a woman, I think that goes to the curse that God gave Adam, right? For the days of your life, you shall be enslaved to the ground. And where does the woman come from? The ground. So this is part of our curse, to enslave to the ground. So remember, God gave out consequences for each one, right? He gave consequences for the serpent. He gave consequences for the woman. And he gave consequences for Adam. And let me put the video. Let me see if I can find. Let me see if I can find.
But what she's saying is, I should be able to, now that my kids they're of age, the kids look kind of grown to me.
Right.
Go create what I want. And she did try. She started doing magazines in the past and
cookware.
covers.
I think she got cookware. Yeah.
She tried.
Right.
And so I think there's nothing wrong with her saying, look, I have aspirations too. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to take away from what I've already been excelling at, but I'm also excellent at other things.
We had two young men, black men, Kyron Lacey and Marshawn Nealon. And we kind of briefly touched on it, not those guys specifically, but mental health in the Black community. Do you think there were signs that these young men were dealing with something? It come to find out, I think the police in Louisiana said something about he caused an accident that cost someone his life, and the reports about he was about to get indicted, and it was just overwhelming. Nealon just had scored his first touchdown on the Monday night game, and then all of a sudden his girlfriend is calling frantically saying he's going to end it. He's going to end it. What with the Black athletes and mental health? Because I think now more guys are getting more Black. Let's speak to that because this is our community. Are starting to get in touch with their emotions, starting to get in touch. Not as much as probably more need to, but we are starting to see that shift where Black men are not so rigid and like, man, I don't need. I'm fine. My daddy didn't do it. My grandfather didn't do it. What do you think caused the shift, and how can we prevent the Marshawn Nealon and the Kyron Lacey situation?
You said something really, really primal. You said that back in the day, Black men would just pretty much shove their emotions down, right? And they would not allow them to come up. So they didn't have to see them or face them, which means they didn't have to feel them.
Right.
The suicide rate was way lower then. The suicide rate is high now because you just said Black men are getting more in contact with what? Their emotions.
Wrong. That's not right.
Right? Everybody can get it, right? Because the truth don't spare nobody. It's just that simple.
So right now, for those who are just really learning who you are because you've gained some more notoriety here lately, what are some signs that women should be looking for early of if they're choosing the wrong man?
Ohio State, you don't, please. How much
Well,
money can you put on it? But Toledo,
it's not so much what a woman should be looking for in a man.
Right.
It's really what she should be looking for in herself.
Amen.
Because people see the world through a lens of their deficiencies.
And it's fully legal.
People see the world through a lens of what they're missing. So if women are missing critical elements to their personality and to their being, they're going to be searching for that in men. And that thing that they're looking for, the man could have a bunch of red flags. One thing about women is women don't like the truth. So they'll try to force a man into a box to fit that deficiency that she's looking for. So it's not so much what a woman should be looking for in a man, it's what she need to be looking for in herself.
You said something real profound last time you were here. You were saying that you thought that women were at a certain level and you realized they were way beneath the level that you even thought.
Yes.
Since that interview, like, what are some of the responses you've gotten from that particular statement?
I got a lot of support from women, right? Women who actually want to do better. See, it's a divide between women. And I have divided them in terms, most of the women I call crumb bums. They crumb bums, right? And then there's women that actually really want to do better. They might not have known. They genuinely didn't know. They genuinely didn't know where to go. And they just needed somebody to shine a light and give them a direction. Those women take to me very well. The crumb bums, on the other hand, they hate me. They hate me. They hate me. They hate anybody that shines a light on their behaviors and their mentalities, right? You can't expect me. I believe in being a boss. You cannot expect, I don't align with crumb bum mentality. I don't align with victimhood, right? So the maximum effective range of a 5.56 round goes in AR-15s and M16s, right? 300 meters. My drill sergeants always told us, The maximum effective range of a 5.56 round is 300 meters, but the maximum effective range of a excuse is 0. Right? This the background I come from. If I'm going to be educating women, that's the foundation. That's the standard. I'm not giving myself excuses and I'm not giving women excuses, right? But before I quote unquote scold you, let me teach you better because you might not know better. Right. But once I teach you better and you still choose to do the other thing, you ain't no victim. You can't pull the ignorance card no more. You can't pull that. See, this is you now. So it ain't the men no more. It's you. So what is it with you that got you behaving in the ways that you behave? Some women take that good and they go and change their lives. The other women become cynical and bitter and on attack mode. They attack anybody. It don't matter. Man, woman, child, anybody that tell them about themselves. So I don't even worry about them.
Now, since your interviews, you said a lot about men and how dark they were. And you were right. We're watching this Diddy trial and we've seen some of the most depraved things that we've seen in a long time from an individual. Do you feel like that most men move in this way?
So understand what I know about nature. I know that most men have dark thoughts that cross their mind because that's how y'all are wired. Now, whether you act on those or not, or fall victim to them is a whole nother thing. And this is why the more you learn about men and their psychology, the more you can understand what it means to be a good man.
Right.
Women don't, first and foremost, women don't have respect for themselves because they trade respect for attention and validation. So they bankrupt in the respect department. But they can't, if they don't have respect for themselves, they definitely can't have respect for you as men regardless. However, even if they had respect in the bank account, they still couldn't respect you as men. And the reason for that is because they don't understand what it takes for a man to actually be a man. And men, because you want to be liked, you want to be seen as good, you don't want to let women into the recesses of your mind. Because if women understood the types of thoughts that go through men's mind, one, a lot of them would be scared. Two, they could have more respect and appreciation for a man who actually has a sense of self-control. Because it requires so much energy for men to go against their nature, they could have more compassion and more give for when you fall short of their expectations, right? Your expectations, they wouldn't be so high. So I don't think that every man acts on these thoughts, but I do think that the thoughts that go through through men's minds are very dark, and it goes through the overwhelming majority of men's minds. Yes.
Why do you think we're so prone to such like depravity?
Nature is brutal and ugly. Nature only cares about two things: survival and reproduction, period. That's it. By any means necessary. So because males, you all are built to be aggressive towards each other, the studies show you that it ain't never existed. The stats show you it's never existed. History show you it's never existed. So I believe that a lot of women are cowards in so many ways. mentally, emotionally. A lot of them scared to be alone. So you'll sit up here and tolerate all that because you think that you have to have a man. You can't go at it alone. You choose men that you can't even stand up to. Hey, so you're going to let a man, you're going to let the father of your child no self-control. So when you see things like this,
I'm sick of myself.